Hey guys, my name is Philip, and I wanted to let you all know that I'm starting a journey that started about a week ago, with the idea and the intention starting about a couple months ago. But my goals are currently to become a landlord, and before that, I want to become a real estate agent, which is what I'm working towards right now. So, give you guys kind of a little history of what's going on. But about 2 months ago, my brother and dad and I were thinking about getting some houses together, like three of them. One for me, one for my girlfriend, like my girlfriend and I, one for my dad and my godfather, and one for my brother. And so we're like, okay, how are we going to do this? How are we going to set this up? So my dad was looking at prefab homes, which are like homes that they build in a factory all at once in like 2 months, and then they put it on a plot of land and they put it together like a Lego. It's really cool, actually. The process is really interesting. So what we did was we looked at the prefab homes and we're like, these are beautiful. No clue how much they cost, but maybe we'll spend like $150,000 on them. You know, being really, really optimistic. But we crunched the numbers, and as we did it, we realized that it's gonna cost a lot more than that, but like a lot more than that. So we decided against that, and we decided, well, what do we do next? What can we still do to make this happen? So we're like, oh, let's buy a home. Buy a home. That's a lot easier. It's a lot cheaper too. So we looked at homes, and we were doing like $100,000 as a cap on the costs. So like, okay, we'll see what we can do. We looked at some homes in the area. We had some restrictions. Dad and my brother walk to work, so they want to make sure that's within walking distance of their work, and walking distance for us is a little further than most people, about 45 minutes to an hour at most to get to work. No big deal. Or a bike, which would be like 20 minutes. So I looked around, saw a couple homes, and we decided to look at some of them. So we contacted real estate agents, and a couple came back to me and said, hey, I noticed you were looking around our website. How can we help you? So I said, just got a couple homes I would like to look at. Here's my price range. Here's all the information I have, and if there's anything you can do to help me figure more about this out, because I know what I'm doing, then that would be appreciated. And they go, okay, yeah, no problem. They asked me if I had a credit score. I said, yeah. I'm using Credit Karma to monitor and try and increase my credit score over time, and it's doing good so far. And they said, that's perfect. Like, you're already ahead of the game. I'm like, awesome. So they're like, oh, do you have a loan? And I'm like, no, I don't really know what to do with the loan. I know it's supposed to be like a home loan, and I looked through Credit Karma for it, but I wasn't quite sure where to find it. And they were saying like I only qualified for like under $50,000, and I'm like, no, that's too low. So they're like, well, just look for an FHA, and I'm like, oh, okay, what's that? And they explained it to me. It's like you put 3.5 percent down on a home, and then you get the house. You don't got to do like a 20 or 30% down payment. You just do the 3.5, and it's so much cheaper. And I'm like, okay, that works. Let's try that out. And so we looked at some couple homes, and like, yeah, I don't. None of these really strike me as something I want to do, something I want to live in. And so we pumped up the price range. We're like, okay, 150. Let's look at some 150 price range homes. And I said, oh, okay, this is looking a little better. Looking a little bit more livable. It's something I could see myself living in for a while. And I'm like, but not, still wasn't quite feeling like dream homey. So we bumped up a little bit more, and a little bit more. And we finally ended on a $225,000 maximum. More than twice as much as we originally were anticipating for the first home. But the first home was also supposed to be about 4 bedrooms. So 4 bedrooms, 2 bathroom, and for 225, we can get a nice house. And the idea is that we would get the house, we would each dump in $1,000 a month each, so we would be able to pay the principal off a lot quicker. Instead of 30 years, it'd take us like 4 or 5 years to pay off the house. And so, yeah, we were like, okay, let's look at this house, and like we want this one. And she goes, okay, well, it's gonna be like $8,000 down payment. How much do you have right now? And I'm like, well, together we have like maybe 4 or 5 grand between the five of us. She's like, well, that's not gonna be enough to even for the closing fees. And I go, closing fees? She goes, yeah, those closing fees, those escrow, I believe is what it's called. What's it called? Holding fees, and then down payment. And I said, well, the closing fees could potentially be added on to your mortgage and paid by the seller, essentially. Um, so I didn't have to worry too much about that, but I still needed like I needed to double the amount of money I had in order to even make the down payment for the house. And not only that, but they recommended to have a good little chunk saved up in case something happens to break down or fall apart when you first move in and you just don't notice it. And I'm thinking, that's a lot more money than I have, and a lot more money than I can accumulate quickly. So I'm like, okay, well, let's hold off. Let's sign another lease. Let's get another year going, and let's save up, and then go look for homes again after that. And I'm thinking, 1 year of saving between the five of us, we could come up with $20,000 or $30,000. That shouldn't be a problem. So while I was doing that, I'm like, what can I do to make more money? And I was like, well, I could get a second job, but a second job, I mean, a full-time second job, yeah, that might work. That would really drain me though, and really, I don't really see the full benefit of it, especially if it's a low-paying job. It's like not making much for the effort that I'm putting in. So I thought, the real estate agent was really interesting. I like looking at houses. I like talking to people, and I thought, well, that's what real estate agents do. So what does it take to become a real estate agent? Do you need a degree? Do you need like something to do it? And it's like, no, you need a 60-hour course, which will take you about 3 to 6 months to complete. Then you get your certificate, and bam, you're a real estate agent. You go out there and sell homes. I'm like, well, that doesn't seem too hard. I could do that pretty easily. So I went and decided to get the course, which was I got it on sale on what's it called, Real Estate Express, and I got the course for like $340 or whatever, like the max course with all the perks and whistles, because that's what I do. I waste money on perks and whistles. It's a downfall of mine when I'm supposed to be saving. So I'm taking the course now. I've been doing it for about a week. I've invested about 25 hours into it. I'm probably going to invest a full 200 plus hours into it because there's a lot more to it than I was expecting. It's a lot like real estate agents do a lot of stuff. So I'm on chapter 4 right now. I'm doing pretty good. Chapter 3 really tried kicking my butt, but I got past it, and I'm trying to get my dad and brother to want to get into this mindset of doing real estate, selling homes, making money, and they're starting to kind of slowly come around. They're wanting to like learn the course with me, and eventually maybe get their licenses, and all of us kind of work together as like partners as in real estate. And there's a couple of certificates we're looking at. We need, I think, 2 specific certificates to actually lease homes out to people, like legally. So we need to get those, and then there's 2 other certificates we wanted to potentially get, which was a what is it called? An appraisal certificate and a home inspection certificate. So we could kind of be like as one of the YouTubers I was started to follow, which I'll mention in a second, would say like a one-stop shop kind of thing, where we could be like, yeah, we can sell your home, we could help you buy a home, we could inspect the home, we could tell you how much the home's worth, we could do this, do that, we could do everything, and then it'd be kind of cool like that, as a family thing. So those are some goals, some plans for the future. First step though is Just get the certificate, get the real estate license certificate, whatever it's called, and yeah. So I started looking at YouTube videos. I'm like, well, let's see what like the day in the life of a real estate agent is. Like, what do they actually do? And I found a couple interesting ones, some not too bad ones. Some of them were a little bit too like, oh, it's awesome, it's great, we're gonna do all this stuff, and be like, ooh, I'm making all this money doing nothing, and it's like, I don't think you're being honest. Then I found two people that I really really liked. One of them was a guy named Graham Stephan, and he is very to the point. He has a lot of really useful information. He tells you what it is like, the good, the bad, the ugly, all of that. And I really enjoyed listening to his stuff. In fact, when I have the money and I'm done with the certificate, I want to take his course along with this other person that I'll mention here in a second, his course. And I'm like, he's got the knowledge. That's what I want. I want all of that knowledge. So, when someone comes up to me, I can be like, what do you need help with? Are you trying to buy, sell, lease? Are you trying to rent? Like, what are you in the mood for? And be able to answer any questions they have. I mean, that would be amazing. So, and then I found another one. I found another person on YouTube who's also doing real estate, but who had more of like my energy kind of thing, but like my old energy, the energy I'm getting back. His name is Meet Kevin. And he just was so, like, the first video I watched, he was like jumping up and down and getting in the car and hanging out with his wife, and he was all like, yeah, let's do this, let's kick some butt, let's go sell some homes. And I'm just like, that's the energy I want. Like, I didn't know how to act as a real estate agent. When I get into it, I'm like, am I supposed to be professional? Am I supposed to be like, ooh, all business, suit and tie, serious? Or can I be a little friendly? Can I be like outgoing? And I see him and I'm like, he's successful, he's doing it just fine, and he's being himself as far as I can tell, and I'm like, perfect. That is perfect. So we take like Kevin's energy and we take Graham's knowledge along with Kevin's knowledge, because don't shirk his knowledge. He knows what he's talking about. You take those two people, you combine them together, you turn them into like a super agent, and that's what I want to be. Like, I want to have that energy, have that passion, really love what I'm doing, and also have all the knowledge of what it means to be a real estate agent. That's my goal. So, I'm watching these videos, getting pumped, getting psyched, taking these tests, taking these practice tests, and doing pretty good, getting like 80, 90, 100% on them. And like these last couple days, I haven't been sleeping much because I've been too energized. Like, I've been going, I want to complete chapter 4 now, and then I'll be too tired to actually focus, and then I'll just sit there, energized, wanting to complete it, and then I'll get like 3 hours of sleep, and then go to work at night, and then I'll spend all night at work going, I'm so tired. I need to do something. I need to complete the course. I need to get the next chapter going. I need to complete something. I need to do flashcards or whatever. And then yesterday, same thing happened. I need to get chapter 4 done before I go to bed. I started it, studied a little bit, then I couldn't go back to bed, so that's another day with only like 2 or 3 hours of sleep. And then today, guess what? Yep, I am getting probably 3 more hours of sleep before I go to work today, but I have tomorrow off, so I will just probably sleep all day tomorrow and call it good. Maybe. I don't know. Depending how tired I become. But I'm just pumped. I mean, the concept of what I'm trying to do is exactly what Graham and Kevin did. They started when they were 18. I'm 26, but they started when they were 18. 10 years later, they're millionaires. They're living good. They're making passive income. They don't have to work, yet they do. I think they choose to, like with real estate and stuff. But they don't necessarily need to, as far as I can tell. And that's what I want. I want to be in 10 years from now, maybe 15, stretching it a little bit if I have to. I want to be like that. I want to be successful. I want to have passive income. I want to own property. And I want to rent it out to tenants. So I have a lot of ambitious goals. And I'm going to call them goals and not dreams, because in my opinion, whenever I call something a dream, I don't achieve it. It's kind of like the negative words of try and maybe and might. Dream kind of fits in that category for me, but a goal is a tangible, like actual visible goal. It's a goal. Duh. There are steps to getting to it, and when you get to the end, bam, you make a new one. You continue on. You find what else you want to do. So, yeah, I think that's about everything I wanted to talk about in this video. This is going to be hopefully a daily update, probably a 10, 15, or 20-minute video every single day, letting you know what I studied, maybe a word of the day, things like that. And, one thing I did want to mention is that the first house I sell, maybe the second, depending on how much commission I get from them, how much it takes, my first purchase, my first thing I buy, is going to be a ring for my girlfriend, so I can finally propose to her. And that is going to be one of the things that drive me to get this career going. And she is another reason why I'm trying to get this going. I want to be able to support her, want to be able to, raise a family comfortably and safely, financially stable. I want to be able to travel. That's a big thing. It would be nice to be able to just travel at least once or twice a year to just wherever I want to go. And yeah, it's just like this. It seems a little far-fetched because I, just like Graham and Kevin, am starting out with nothing. And I've tried for the last 7 years making a company, trying to make a business and to make a career out of writing and comics. And I finally told myself, I'm like, you know what? Spent too much money on it. Haven't had any return, or little return. I'm going to keep it as a hobby because I love it. I love writing and I love doing comics, but I can't do it as a career. It just isn't in me. This stuff, real estate, small investment, a couple $100 to get the course. I think there's also licensing fees and also the stuff once you actually get the stuff, and so it's going to be a little more expensive to get that stuff, but in general, a much lower setup fee as opposed to my comics and stuff, with a much higher potential income. So, did I mention another cool thing? Sorry, I have a lot of stuff to talk about. I really wanted to get it all out today. I talked to someone. I talked to one of the real estate agents that contacted me, like one of the first ones, and I told them, I'm like, hey, I'm trying to get my real estate license. I'm really focused on this. I really like the concept of being a real estate agent. You know what they said? They said, that's awesome. When you get your license, come work with me, work with my team, work at my company. And I'm like, well, that's perfect, because the company you mentioned was the company I wanted to work with to begin with. So I'm like, okay, I kind of have a foot in the door already. So once I get my certificate, it's bam, right in the door, getting training, getting a mentor, getting everything I need. And that's something that they stress, is getting a mentor, getting someone to train you when you don't know what you're doing, because it's tough doing it on your own. So I'm gonna just keep going, keep studying, keep you guys updated, and just stay positive. So if you want to follow me, go ahead and hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, hit the notification bell, all that fun stuff. You know the drill. You've seen YouTube enough, and just follow me. See how I'm doing in a year from now, 2 years from now, 3 years from now. Who knows? Let's see where I am. Let's see if what they spout is true. Let's see if I can go from zero to a millionaire in like 10 years, or financially stable in 10 years. Following not just the housing and renting and leasing out houses, but the investment, the savings, living below your means. A lot of stuff they talk about. I'm probably going to rehash some of the stuff I talk about while I'm learning and growing, just because it's really interesting and it's useful. But anyways, yeah, I will see you guys tomorrow, and thanks for watching.